Hey, it's your buddy Peace and Harmony with you here today. We are zooming in and we are focusing in on what happens when you let your guard down, when you drop your boundaries, when you suppress your intuition, your gut instinct, your North Star, your internal guiding system, when you are in a relationship with a narcissist, a borderline, or a psychopath. And I am putting all of these personality character disorders into one because they seem to have the same effect of emotional manipulation, hurt, and deceit, duplicity onto others. So, real quick, I know a lot of people ask, and I get a lot of comments, what's the difference between the two of these? And oftentimes the lines between these are blurred. People might have characteristics or symptomology of all, quadrants or all aspects of the character disorders. And I want to keep it simple. The main thing here on the channel is we're not, of course, we're trying to define exactly what these pathological behaviors are so you can understand some of this bizarre treatment from these types of people in your life, but more so we're focusing on yourself and what you can do to move through it successfully. So I don't want to spend an undue amount of attention and time on, what is it about these people? How do we label? How do we diagnose? How do we treat? The whole goal of this channel is to get things sorted out, remove a lot of the mystery and the hectic information so that you can understand what you can do in your life to prevent, further hurt and further deprivation and further neglect into your life, and to really kind of stop the bleeding, so to speak, because your time is important, your time is valuable, and your life and your light is important as well. And that's what we want to basically help you to break free. So what happens when you break your guard down with these types of people? What happens when you annihilate or diminish your boundaries? Well, real quick, we're looking at, what is a psychopath? What is a borderline? And what is a narcissist? So these troubling people in your life, these people who are hurtful, harmful, and, presenting a lot of issues and a lot of difficulty for you in terms of an obstacle or, this sort of emotional wounded, physically wounding, financially wounding type of individuals. Just to keep it very simple, a psychopath is an individual. Actually, let's start with a narcissist. So a narcissist is someone who has a pathological sense of self-importance, a heightened sense of grandiosity, self-absorption, someone who is prone to pathological lying, duplicity, which means wearing a mask, a facade to somebody, but then underneath they have a whole different set of feelings, values, and emotions other than what they, wearing on their sleeve. So they oftentimes, the facade that they present is belaying or contradictory to their inner self, their inner values, and kind of really there's a really pathological selfishness. And so this is coupled with a lack of empathy. And a lack of empathy means they're not able to see, feel, hear, and understand your needs, your wishes, your desires, so they don't have a support for you there. And then empathy, which resultant is basically makes it possible for them to engage in a lot of exploitation of others. So exploiting others' needs to get what they want. So you have your covert narcissist, which is more, quiet, subdued, not overly charming. But these people can be extremely charming, completely, very affable, want you to get on their side. But oftentimes, they feel like they are more important than others. They rule others through their self-importance. Then others are always underneath and supporting of them. And then you have your borderline individuals. And I realize this is just a quick snippet, but, these are the people who have a real sort of harsh sense of self. They don't have a real defined sense of self. And oftentimes this resulted in self-loathing and sort of very clear black and white thinking. And they project a lot of anger, hostility onto you and make you feel, very hurt, very isolated, etc. And we're going to, we've done a lot of videos on the typical behavioral patterns that we see in these people. and just quickly moving through to a psychopath, someone who presents with a complete lack of conscience, completely devoid of empathy, very impulsive, high risk takers, and basically seek to hijack people psychologically through a lot of mind tricks, manipulation, in order to really have a very deliberate and calculating victimization of you. And so really they feel nothing. They don't really they really don't care for others. And so really it gives them this ability to really inflict harm on others without feeling a lot of regret, remorse, or being really, stifled by it. They're just able to hurt people and move on very quickly. They don't feel anything. So that's just a very, very superficial glossing over, but we're really looking at kind of what happens when you break your boundaries down. When you let your guard down around these types of people, and what really causes this idealization phase to even set up in the first place, and allow, can keep this contracting, this type of hurt. Why do you stay with a relationship too long? Why do you attract these people into your life, and why have they, presented this to you? Well, for number one, realize that your guard is your intuition. Your guard is your sixth sense. Your guard is your gut instinct. The vagus nerve, which wraps around, the front left hip, and, gives you a sense of a gut check, gives you an intuition. It's your guiding force. It's something that directs you in a lot of subconscious ways, and is your intuition. And, this will oftentimes be suppressed when you are targeted by a narcissist or a psychopathic type of individual. Or you tend to really muffle this out when you're with a character distorted person. Because of the idealization phase. This person is so charming. This person is, so alluring, seductive, that you tend to violate your own inner gut instinct around these types of people. So you make a sacrifice to yourself for the betterment of them. And this sacrifice can take the time, in expression in terms of the attention you give them, the time, the money, the energy, the affection, the finances, the place to live, the food, helping them. Oftentimes you find that you are a big resource to them. And likewise, you do receive from them, but the skills, basically the level, the playing ground is not very level. And you'll realize, if you were to only pay attention to the red flags, but oftentimes people tend to shut this out or muffle it or suppress their intuition around these types of people, because they have allocated a more importance to them, their happiness, their needs, than their own. So they tend to use the old principle that it's better to give than receive. It's, it's best to, give all and be all to somebody, and the feeling that you will get what you will receive what you've given. The table will turn around. You're operating along a lot of these internal guiding systems, and you tend to suppress, or, for men, it's important for me to provide. And so they get taken advantage of. They don't realize that they have been, mistreated or not spoken to very well, cheated, on both sides of the table, that there's cheating, there's betrayal, dishonesty, duplicity. But oftentimes it causes people, and I think that is the main issue, to drop their guard, lower their boundaries, or have their boundaries enmeshed or basically eradicated, so that this person basically just helps himself to you and takes advantage of you. And in the name of love, in the name of giving, in the name of caring, you then get this sort of confusion that, if I were to sacrifice my everything, that means I love you. If I were to do this and this for you, this is how I love you. So this often becomes a self-annihilating or self-sabotaging program that people become conditioned on. And it's very crippling because, they end up giving everything to them. Even their mindset, even their perspective, even their own internal values, they end up sacrificing for the betterment of the whole, or the whole couple, or the whole family. and they don't realize that they have, laid themselves exposed to this type of person. So it's very important, if you have encountered a relationship like this that has been very hurtful from a narcissist, from a psychopath, somebody who has really hurt you, maybe deliberately and calculated, presented a false mask to you, and then you've exposed them, and you've now realized that they are hurtful, taken advantage of, and lead a double and triple life, and you have become a victim of this, and you are, feeling so horrific, and having, kind of gone through this relationship death, then you need to really begin to work on the lesson learned, which is that that they're in essence like a gift to you in your life. If you can look at it in a positive manner, this person is a gift in your life to teach you how to erect and enforce your own boundaries and be able to assert your own voice, your own values, your own instincts, and learn how to put your foot down, learn how to say no, learn how to say, I don't have to do this to earn somebody's love. I don't need to put others on a pedestal, and I don't need to lower myself in order to have love, enjoyment, and happiness. That's not what love asks of me. Love asks of me to be my best and to put myself, to understand the value of myself and my needs and my voice, and to be able to put that first. So it's a real energy shift. It's a real shift of perspective. So if that can be a lesson that you have learned, and realize what was the gift for this person in your life, I think it'll help you kind of reframe things in a positive manner and realize that maybe there's a real important lesson for you to learn after going through this type of experience. And that is the importance of knowing your physical, spiritual, emotional, financial, physical boundaries that really are part of your energetic field, your life, your perspective, and realize that you are worth protecting, you are capable of protecting yourself, and you can, in essence, be your own best guardian when you attune to this, become aware of it on a conscious basis. And as you take this forward into your life, I think this perspective will really serve you and will also help reformat your structure, restructure kind of your outlook. So when you do attract healthier relationships, you can keep these boundaries intact, and that anyone who is worth being with will respect, observe, and honor your personal boundaries, physically, emotionally, psychologically, spiritually, and that you will have these intact so you won't lose your sense of self in the name of love. You will be able to receive love and give love in a healthy, balanced, beneficial, and fulfilling, blissful manner. Peace and harmony with you here today. I hope these videos do help. Please share and please subscribe for more great tools, videos, discussion, and support.